everyone, Youngboy Core here, aka Crasher, and
Cosmog'S!
Woohoo! And first things first, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a brand new video, and this right here is to commemorate one of our favorite times of the year, Halloween. So, what better way to celebrate Halloween Pokemon style than to give you a top 10 list which includes our favorite Dark Type Pokemon. You guys are going to be in for a wild ride. Show the video lots of love, smash the likes up, and comment down below and tell us what your favorite Dark Type Pokemon are on this momentous and spooky occasion. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to number 10, and this is in no particular order, but we have ourselves the Dark and Steel Bisharp. So when it comes to Bisharp's entry right here, it's a bit of a weird one because when I first came across Bisharp in Generation 5, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't care that much about it, but how I was first introduced to Bisharp was that infamous fight against Getsus with that underleveled Hydreigon. But I have to say though, over the course of time, I began to warm up to Bisharp, and to be honest with you, Dark and Steel, while it may be 4 times weak to fighting, which can be a bit of a turnoff for some people, Dark and Steel is actually a very decent typing. And that's not all that is decent about it. It has a really good selection of abilities known as Defiant, Inner Focus, and Pressure, with Defiant, in my honest opinion, being the best ability to use for Bisharp, because when an opposing Pokemon lowers one of your stats, Defiant kicks in and boosts your attack stat by 2 stages. And on the note of stats, check out that 125 attack. That is one hell of a stat that you do not want to have accidentally boosted if you're facing off against a Bisharp, because especially with priority boost Sucker Punch, yeah, that is going to leave a mark. Now, while its other stats may be mediocre to average at best, that base 125 attack coupled with its amazing move pool and the ability to set up its attack with Swords Dance, this is a Pokemon to watch out for when it comes to competitive battling, man, I'll tell you what. But now it is time to move on to number 9, and Cosmog, take it away, please.
Now coming in at number 9, we have Pangoro, the Daunting Pokemon. It's a fighting Dark type, and while it may be 4 times weak to fairies, it's actually a great offensive typing. All 3 of its abilities are really useful, and it's got the stats and the moves to back it up. While it looks mean and scary, Pangoro actually has the tendency to stand up to bullying, and it will take none of that. And in my opinion, that is really worthy of respect. Just slap a choice band on it, keep it away from fairies, and you're good.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is a Pokemon's Pokemon, I will tell you what. And moving on to number 8, speaking of a Pokemon's Pokemon, we have Yveltal, the legendary dark flying type of Generation 6. Now, this is a Pokemon that, in my honest opinion, had an amazing impact when I played Pokemon Y back in 2013. And honestly, Dark and Flying is a really good typing. Offensively and defensively, it's quite decent. And with the ability Dark Aura, this further boosts its Dark type attacks. That is actually crazy. And speaking of crazy, look at the stats that it has. 126 HP with 131 both the attack and special attack. So this thing can be physical, it can be special, it can be mixed. And the thing is as well is that this Pokemon is actually really solid defensively as well, because while its defenses may be just below 100, that HP is very fat with base 126, so you can turn this into a physical wall, a special wall, a mixed wall. I personally love running a physically defensive Yveltal with a Dark Aura boosted Foul Play, which turns physical attackers I'm facing off against them. So you might want to think twice about setting up your Swords Dances against this thing, because it's going to throw your boosted attack power right the hell back at you, man. That is a Pokemon you truly do not want to mess with. And speaking of not wanting to mess with, well, we have ourselves number 7. Take it away, my dude.
At number 7, we have Spiritomb, the forbidden Pokemon. With its ghost and dark typing giving it no weakness until fairy types came into the picture, Spiritomb is one interesting Pokemon to have on your team. Even the Sinnoh champion, Cynthia, saw fit to have Spiritomb on her team. While it might not have the best stats, its abilities could make for a fun battle if used right. Even with its fairy weakness, it still boasts a good set of resistances and immunities. Battle prowess aside, this is one Pokemon that is not gonna miss out on Halloween due to its creepy lore.
And I gotta say, Spiritomb is definitely creepy, and I would love if there was a mini-story when it came to Spiritomb and the exploration of what truly it was all about before it got sealed away. Maybe it had some type of ancient form. Hashtag Legends Arceus foreshadowing. But, moving on, we have ourselves Gen 5's Zoroark. This Pokemon is so badass and so good, it even has its own movie, Master of Illusions, and this Pokemon right here is a master in its art. And honestly, with this Pokemon getting a Hisuian form right here, this further makes me appreciate Zoroark even more so. Especially when we have its signature ability, Illusion, in effect. This is a Pokemon that can disguise itself as another Pokemon, which completely throws opposing Pokemon and people off their game, thinking that they are facing off against one when really they're facing off against the other. And as for its stats, well, yeah, okay, I mean, its defenses and HP aren't exactly that good. Doesn't exactly look like a tanky Pokemon, but this is one of those Pokemon that is the definition of a speedster and a glass cannon. We have 105 attack and speed and 120 special attack. This is a Pokemon that, combined with its move pool, can definitely make various sets work. Hell, you could even be a speedy stall breaker with taunt and other sorts of shenanigans that Zoroark has up its furry sleeves. And by the time the opponent realizes that it is really truly Zoroark, well, it is potentially too late, and Zoroark is going to be feasting on your soul. Now, speaking of souls and speaking of feasting, this is a Pokemon that is ready for chow time.
Drapion, with its rare poison and dark typing giving it only a single weakness to ground, can be quite a menace in battle as showcased by Paul's Drapion in the anime. It has got a decent physical bulk, and it's got a good support move pool with moves such as Taunt, Toxic Spikes, Whirlwind, and Toxic. If you prefer going on the offense, it's got Sword Stance, Agility, and a plethora of offensive moves to go along with it. And can we talk about its badass design? Those pincers look like they could rip apart a carcass without any mercy.
Yikes. That right there is quite the creepy way to end off this entry right here for Drapion. But honestly, Drapion deserves its own spot. It is absolutely amazing. Speaking of amazing, the next entry we have is Crocodile, a unique ground dark type Pokemon with the abilities Intimidate, Moxie, and Anger Point. Now, if you want to go on the defensive route, I would definitely go for Intimidate, and if you want a more offensive route, I would definitely go for Moxie. Anger Point is kinda it's situational. I mean, it's okay, I guess. But I will say, if you have watched the Gen 5 anime with Ash's Crocodile being an absolute boss, then there would be definitely an understanding as to why this Pokemon makes the list. Now, while this Pokemon here may not be screaming defensive behemoth, that is absolutely okay, because with that 117 attack coupled with its amazing offensive and actually pretty respectably defensive typing in ground and dark, and a plethora of offensive moves to make use of, This is a Pokemon that can land super effective hits in pretty much every single which way, no matter how you splice it. And I absolutely love running Moxie because whenever you KO an opponent, the attack stat gets boosted by one stage. So just imagine you are KOing after KOing after KOing Pokemon and boosting your attack stat even more to the point where you are pretty much an unstoppable machine. That right there is some scary ass shiz. And speaking of, oh god, speaking of scary, woo! I'm feeling a little bit chilly, bro. You might want to take this one over for me.
You want to talk about terrifying Dark-type Pokemon? Well, Hydreigon is your Pokemon. Being the Generation 5 pseudo-legendary, it has quite a good set of resistances and well-balanced stats. But where it really shines is that insane move pool. With it having nasty plot now, it is even more terrifying than ever, and that just lines up with its design even more. Hydreigon is one Pokemon you do not want to mess with.
Yeah, I mean, just ask all of the players that had to face off against Getsis and his underleveled Hydreigon back into the Gen 5 games. This is a Pokemon that was indeed a nightmare that could sweep unprepared teams. It is ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, we have ourselves the next entry, boys and girls, and that comes in the form of a Grimmsnarl, a very, very awesome Dark and Fairy Pokemon with Prankster, Frisk, and Pickpocket. Now, right from the jump, y'all are definitely going to want to run Prankster on Grimmsnarl because this is a Pokemon that has a really good supportive move pool, and any non-attacking moves gets boosted by Prankster and gains priority. But then again, if you are running an offensive variant of Grimmsnarl, then Frisk could be good if you are an all-out attacker. But if you have support moves on there, like Light Screen, Reflect, Taunt, Thunder Wave, etc., etc., then Prankster is your main man when it comes to the Grimmsnarl. And as for the stats, now this Pokemon right here, while it may not scream defensive behemoth, this Pokemon with the right stat spread as well as the right move pool is a difficult Pokemon to contend with, and it also has a really good base 120 attack stat, and this Pokemon as well has a really badass Gigantamax form that definitely will be the stuff of nightmares if you are not prepared at all. And speaking of the stuff of nightmares, we have ourselves the OG of OG Dark-type Pokemon, aka your favorite.
Now, how can we have a Dark-themed list without Umbreon? The OG Dark-type Pokemon. Despite Umbreon not having much in terms of offensive stats, you do not want to underestimate its offense, as it can deal its fair share of pain with a stat-boosted foul play. A well-timed switch-in could actually turn an opponent's status move against themselves, and with recovery options such as Wish or Moonlight coupled with its amazing defensive stats, Umbreon can just keep going for days. And just look at its shiny form, it's subtle yet it's super effective. That is essentially what Umbreon is, a Pokemon that delivers instead of just being flashy.
I'll tell you what, man. Umbreon is definitely like the triple OGs, like the El Jefe of Dark-type Pokemon. If you are not a fan of Umbreon, what in the blue hell is wrong with you? But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Happy Halloween! We certainly hope you guys enjoyed this ghoulish Pokemon content on Halloween. If you guys did enjoy this video that features ya boys, Crasher and Cosmog, consider liking and subscribing and especially commenting down below. And again, like I said at the beginning, tell us what your favorite Dark-type Pokemon are in the comments down below. We would love to hear you guys out on that one. And you know the deal, we always love hearing you guys out. That will never ever change. So thank you guys again for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day or night depending on your time zone. And we'll see you guys in the next one.